Hello, this is Nate Maddock with Brilliant for Educators, and this is Brilliant for Educators 101. The agenda for today is learn about Brilliant, learn about the Educator platform. We'll go over some popular courses and pathways, share how educators use Brilliant, tips to get started, a Q&A, and then troubleshooting any individual questions you might have. You can always reach us at educators@brilliant.org. So what is Brilliant? Brilliant's goal is to make a world of great problem solvers. We are mostly an app or a website used by millions of users. We have over 70 STEM courses. It is a paid product for individual learners. Many adult learners use Brilliant. I work for the Brilliant for Educators program, which is why you're here today. This program was created in 2020, and it is a grant-funded program that shares Brilliant for Educators completely free to schools. We have about 30,000 K-12 teachers and over 120,000 students worldwide. And what really makes Brilliant special is that we give perspectives and interactives and opportunities that you will not always find in core curriculum. So about the Educator platform. In order to access it, you have to go to brilliant.org/educators and apply for access. Once again, it's free. You can apply as a K-12 teacher directly. With your Educator account, you're going to be able to create unlimited classes. You're going to invite as many students as you'd like to. Now, to be clear, students will then also get free premium access. You can share links to Brilliant courses and lessons, monitor student progress, and use Brilliant content yourself. I really encourage everyone here to take 2 minutes and apply right now. Make sure you note that you're a K-12 teacher. Use an academic email address. If you apply with Gmail, we will deny the accounts. This is just the way we quickly verify who is not a teacher. And I do look at all the applications. If you have any issues, just send us an email afterwards. So learning and teaching with Brilliant. This is our course catalog. We have over 70 courses, thousands of lessons. They're new and updated all the time. Courses like solving equations, thinking code, exploring data, scientific thinking. All of these courses are going to be fun, interactive, engaging ways to approach the content. So what is it like to learn on Brilliant? First, you got to go check it out. Like once you have your Educator account, you're able to create your own student account and preview the content. So don't trust but verify. It's active learning through problem solving. So there's never going to be a video. There's not really passive reading. We try to minimize words as much as possible. And, obviously we want to teach, key vocabulary, but in general, it's a lot of doing, playing, building, and it can be challenging. So what makes Brilliant special is that it's okay to get things wrong. And when you get things wrong, you're able to learn from your mistake and try again. We have shifted now for student facing. They're going to see pathways, so it guides a little bit. The solving equations, our math pathway is about appropriate for a 6th, 7th grade math student. And then it goes all the way through linear algebra and even early college work. So it's a huge range of math content. I really do recommend checking out the solving equations or visual algebra as a first course to get a sense of what Brilliant's all about. For science, we have a pathway. Science content on Brilliant is a little bit physics heavy right now. If you're not a physics teacher, I recommend the scientific thinking course just to get a really great overview of lots of science concepts. Physics teachers, lots for you. And we will probably be updating this, sooner than later. So expect new content to come out. Programming CS, a lot of people use us for that. In a nutshell, I'd say what makes Brilliant's content really special here is that we're focused on not just a syntax or a language, but rather really understanding how computers process information and how to write programs well. Definitely appropriate for beginner level through advanced. Puzzles, I'm calling out for teachers in particular because it is single questions, usually lots of different ways to solve. Great for warm-ups, brain breaks, not usually as interactive as our other content. It's more of a library of really good questions. If you are in like math counts or do AMC or any type of contest math, the contest math course, hundreds of questions, all on the contest level, really great resource. Educators use Brilliant, so there's tons of different ways. Here's just a couple that we see kind of in a path from like easiest to implement to most complicated to implement. So self-directed learning, you just give your students access, get on, you say, all right, when you go home, feel free to use Brilliant at home. Honestly, that alone is a great gift, right? Brilliant usually costs like over $100 per person. Now you have free access. I wish we lived in a world where I could tell you 100% of your students will use it all the time. I don't think that's going to be how it works, but you will find there's a couple kids, and maybe not predictable, who will just really run with brilliance. We hear stories about the kid that like hides under the covers and like does too much brilliance at home. It does happen, and it's not always the kid you might think. So encourage you to add your whole class, and then at least give them that access. It'll take you 5 minutes, maybe less. Enrichment. Okay, so you have a day where you finish a bit early. That'd be amazing. Maybe the day before a break, or maybe you have kids that finish a test early. The logic course, great course to give that day to those students. It's not necessarily curricular, but it's still cognitively engaging. We have a bunch of these type of courses: logic, scientific thinking, math history, beautiful geometry, how LLMs work. How does ChatGPT work? As I mentioned earlier, those are going to be your puzzles. Start the day with it. Each puzzle is a meaty problem, usually multiple ways to solve. Great to have a discussion afterwards. And then, of course, I think, the best way to use it from a getting the most out of it perspective is to really integrate it into your instructional routines, introduce or review concepts. We do have a content library for you to go as a teacher to look, for, go find standards that are aligned if you use Common Core or NGSS, as well as topics. You can find a lesson that's relevant for what you're teaching that day, share it with students either using Google Classroom or URL. And, can be used to just introduce concept, can be used to review. A lot of teachers use Brilliant on days where they're going to spend more time on a topic, maybe day 2 of a topic. It's great second day activity. All right, getting started. So all the magic happens in your classroom on educator.brilliant.org. So I want to be really clear, you're going to have a brilliant.org account when we're done and an educator.brilliant.org account, 2 accounts. And everything happens in the classroom for the educator. So in the classroom tab, you're going to be able to create your classes. You're going to track learner progress. You're going to view and add students. And we have helpful resources in the program guide. If you use Google Classroom, just click sync from Google Classroom. It will add all your students, grant them access. You're done. If you do not use Google Classroom, click new class. You'll be creating a class that way. Once you create a new class, you could sync from Google Classroom again, put your students directly into that classroom, or you can click create an access link. This access link is what you're going to copy and share with students. You can share it via another LMS like Canvas, email it to students. If you have to write on the board, I'm very sorry, but it could be done that way. Once students go to this link once, it'll direct them to brilliant.org. They're going to create an account. They now have free premium access. They're tied to your classroom. They never have to do that again. From now on, they just go log into brilliant.org. This is the first time you have to do this. And once again, if you use sync with Google Classroom, you can skip this step. And this is the only way that students on 13 create accounts. So as a teacher, you have an educator account. You're good. However, if you want to view content on Brilliant, and you should want to, you have to also create a student account. I know it's a little confusing. Honestly, it's not ideal. The reason it's like that is because brilliant.org and Educator are 2 different websites. It allows us to make the Educator website better and better and better and better without having to worry about impacting brilliant.org. And so you have to register yourself as a student. After you create your first class, after you add your students, you'll see this button appear. Just click it. You'll create a brilliant.org account. If you already have a brilliant.org account, you can hit log in, and it will link that to a teacher account. Either way, it ends up with you having a free account. So you end up with 2 accounts, an educator account and a brilliant.org account. On Educator, you can either log in with Google or by email. You don't even need a password. Brilliant, Google, or you do email, you do need a password. I do recommend, if you use Google, log in with Google. That way you don't have to remember passwords. Monitoring student progress. Brilliant is not an assessment platform. Our thing is that we are trying to deliver the best possible content in a safe environment for students to make mistakes. Kind of conflicts with the idea of giving minus reports, things like this. That said, we're looking at how to make our practice problems a little bit more informative to teachers. I do expect to have an update on this probably started next school year. But as of right now, think of this as a way just to know, what do my students do? How long do they do it for? Are they putting forth effort? You're going to see the amount of time that they've spent on each lesson, the lessons they completed. You can choose any range, any date range. You can look for all courses or a subset of courses, up to you. Sharing lessons with students. This I'm going to do via a demo. All right, so this is what it looks like on the Lessons tab. If you want directions in the future, you have this how to use this button. Feel free to click it. You can search by topic, math, computer science, science, or data. You have access to all of them. Let's say you are a math teacher wanting to teach something about ratios. You can type that there. It will then, and it's a little bit slower because I have Zoom open. It makes my, but there it is. These are all of our lessons that have something connected to ratios. You can view the standards if you use Common Core, topics if you do not. If you'd like to filter by grade level, most of these are already 7 to 6. Here's the grade levels as well as subject for the high school level. All of this suggested, a 7th grader here, 7th grader there, could be 8th grader there. We're not trying to say don't use this if it's not perfectly the grade level that you are. However, it gives you an indication about how difficult it will be. Once you find a lesson that you like, one, you can preview the course. That will open up the whole course on Brilliant.org. If you'd like to share that course, say, hey, students, let's go work through this course independently. You can copy that whole course as a URL, paste that URL, or you can click this button and post it onto Google Classroom. For people who are like, why not Canvas? It will be coming soon. If you want to check out the lessons, click preview lessons. Same idea. You can copy a link to a lesson or post it to Google Classroom. I will note that there are some times where a student clicks on one of those links and they're not already logged into Brilliant, and then they log into Brilliant, and then for whatever reason, it doesn't redirect them to that page it's supposed to, but it does happen. They just need to go back and click the link again. They'll get on the right page the second time. I know that's not ideal. We'll try to fix that, but now you know. All right, so that is the Brilliant 101 session. There's helpful resources in that educator portal, including the program guide. Any questions, email us at educators@brilliant.org. Thank you for your time.